Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cube Ambassador. So, yes, this is a first. Yes, it's a first. I am not wearing swag. This is my kind of rough and tough denim, um, whatever. It was given to me by a relative as a gift. I think they looked at my wardrobe and thought, but this is really, it's a cool, it's like jeans material. And so, why do they have this on? It was a rough and tough morning. Okay. No, I don't drink alcohol anymore or beer or anything like that. No. We had yesterday during the night a thunder snowstorm. Yeah, I didn't know they existed either. So, massive snowstorm with thunder and lightning. It was, it reminded me back in the day in high school, we studied, we're not elementary school, I don't remember. We studied Norse mythology. So, the Vikings religion. And there was Thor and Odin. And by the way, in English, a lot of our weekday names are from Norse mythology. Obviously, not Saturday and Sunday, I think, because those come from Latin. But Thursday, Thor's Day, right? I can't remember the other ones. Nevertheless, so the sky was exploding. There's snow, everything. You think you're going to hear Led Zeppelin's Come from the Land of the Ice and Snow. It was wild and everything's shaking. Okay, so that was bad enough. I finally fell asleep. And then I woke up this morning to something even worse. So it wasn't super cold. So the snow was kind of half snow and half kind of starting to melt. What does that give you? Heavy snow. All right. What happens with heavy snow on trees? Yeah, it's like me back in university on a Friday night. They start to, and so I had to go outside this morning. First of all, shovel the heck out of all this snow. It's heavy snow. And then I had to shake the trees because, I'm worried, this it's going to come and hit the house. Right? And that's all. Anyway, of course, the problem is and this is about disaster recovery is important. When you're nervous and excited, you go and do dumb things. So I went under the tree and I started to shake it because I'll get the snow off. Of course, what goes up or what's up will come down. And it came boom. So it woke me up. But anyways, I was out there. You don't believe me? I'll show you a photo. This, by the way, is after I'd already done some work, but that's like looking out for my backyard, and that's not too bad. But you see how the tree. I'm not an arborist, whatever, but it's the tree that doesn't lose its stuff in the winter. So all that heavy snow is hanging there, and these things just start to whatever. The bush in the backyard was on its side. So I had to go out there and do a lot of work. Anyway, so I had to get back into kind of like lumberjack mode, whatever, Canada, shake the trees, have them fall on you. Anyways, enough of that. Well, so the good news is next week I'm leaving all this. Yes, yes. And where am I going? Tech Field Day 27. Yes, Tech Field Day. And guess where that is? California. Yeah, except I've been checking the temperature. Now, while it's warmer than here, it's not like, beaches and, whatever. It's like 10 degrees Celsius. So, but nevertheless, California. And it's Silicon Valley. That's where it's going to be. Tech Field Day. I'm going to talk about it in a second. Well, Silicon Valley for IT people is like, it's like the promised land, Silicon Valley. That's where it all came from, right? So it's going to be interesting to see. It's probably just, suburban USA, but there's a bay. It's San Jose and the Bay, but there's San Francisco. I've never been to San Francisco, so I'm gonna after Tech Field Day, take a day Airbnb. Hopefully, I did do my crime check in American cities. You don't get an Airbnb in the combat zone. I've actually done that by accident once. It wasn't very pleasant, but no, this looks relatively safe. Anyways, I'm experienced walking around Knockwood. And I'll have one day to look around San Francisco. Okay, but more importantly, what is Tech Field Day? Well, I was invited to be a delegate to Tech Field Day. It's really, prestigious, and I feel really happy about this. But it's very, very interesting. And it's my first one, so I can't talk from experience, but I've watched a bunch. Basically, what happens is companies come and present, and then you have delegates from different fields of IT who then have things like roundtables, they ask questions, and it's a good experience because you get a lot of different views. Obviously, IT views. You don't, bring somebody in who's I don't know, an airplane flies airplanes. It's not gonna be. I mean, you could, but so they're IT specialists who will discuss these things. So it's really interesting. So first of all, I want to point out where you need to go to find out what this is. And so what's going to happen is that there'll be some live sessions, and so I'll be there. And others will be, there's some very distinguished guests. Oh, I haven't shared my thing. You're still looking at me in my sporting my whatever it is. I think this is actually brand name too, but I don't know where to look for the thing. I probably ripped the tag off, right? Okay, so there it is, Tech Field Day 27th. It's going to be from March 8th to March 10th. And where? Location? Silicon Valley. I mean, maybe I'll be lucky. Maybe the sun will come out and all that. I mean, there are palm trees. You know, you go on Google Maps and then you go at Street View and you walk around to see. So I've done that. And it looks like, you know, California. There are palm trees and there are people smiling and stuff. But we'll see when I get there, obviously. Okay, so it's Tech Field Day. And so first of all, if you go to this page, Tech Field Day, so it's techfieldday.com, event TFD27. Okay, so there's a description here, but also there's a little video here. So Stephen Foskett, who runs this whole thing, he does a little video here and does a much better description of the whole event than I do. So you can figure out what this is going to be. And it also shows the delegates and really interesting people. I'm really excited to meet some of these people. Some of these people I've actually seen and heard on blogs, but you know, I've never actually met them in person. And there's me. There's me. You can see I'm sporting my Veeam swag hat in Grand Central Station in New York. That's my photo I use all over the place. Good luck. Nico Stein, you might know him. He's a Veeam Vanguard, right? And some other very interesting people. They're going to be involved in this. There's also going to be people not present who will be online delegates too. So it's not just, there's some people present and then there's some people online who take part. And so who's presenting? Well, that's really interesting. The first ones are 8 a.m. It's going to be an early start. Pacific time. Don't worry about it for all the East and Central people. Wednesday, 8 a.m. till 9:30 p.m. Men and Mice are presenting. Now, what is Men and Mice? So, very interesting company. They do a combination of DHCP, IPAM, a product that does this for you. And when I was thinking about it, I thought, how many nuisances and problems have I had with DHCP and DNS, IPAM? There's all these solutions out there, and they basically have created one solution. So I'm actually really interested in this because this is not only going to be fun to ask questions and whatnot, but I might be able to take this back and, help me out on my daily work. Okay, on Wednesday again at 12:30 till 14:30, which is 2:30, Mem Merge, okay, Mem Merge. And by the way, Stephen, as I said in the video, describes this a bit, but I went to the website too, and this is very interesting. So Mem Merge, run batch jobs safely on low-cost spot instances. I mean, they do all sorts of stuff, I think, but that's their webpage. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to tell exactly what they do because you won't come and watch it, will you? Next is Kentic. There's Kentic, okay? And again, you can go to the website, you take a look, but I'm not going to say anything yet, but okay. Network observability, that gives a hint. And then there's also CXL, and CXL sounds really interesting. Again, just going to read what it says on their webpage, the breakthrough CPU to device interconnect. Okay, so that's already intriguing. Okay, it's very intriguing. And they're going to be present there. Again, Steve Foskett describes this all in this really, concise video here. Now, there are other field days as well. This is Tech Field Day 27, but there are other ones. There's Edge Field Day, Cloud Field Day, and I think they're thinking up new field days too. And again, it's very interesting because the companies come here, they present, and then they have a panel. There's a discussion, there are questions. So it's a very interesting way for people to engage these vendors and get information. They're able to show their products and show what's great about them, and then we can ask questions from the user point of view or the point of view of the people who are going to leverage this technology in different areas of IT. Okay, so that's next week. I said I'm glad the big snowstorm hit yesterday because I can imagine that all the people who were traveling somewhere yesterday didn't travel very far, and they were probably stuck in the airport, which I don't want to do. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully the weather will be good. I have some plans. I might rent a bike in San Francisco, and some people say, "Wait, rent a bike? It's hilly." I go, "Well, it's going to be interesting." But like, rent a bike and go across the Golden Gate. I mean, that would be. I don't think I'll go to Alcatraz because I'm not worried about being stuck in a prison. I'm worried about the cost of going to prison. I mean, not in years term, but like the tour is like $150. I'll just stand on the, with binoculars. It's $150 to see a jail. You know, I've never been in jail, thank goodness, but I'm just saying, these tours can be expensive. Um, so, anyways, and also, if the boat sinks, there's tons of sharks there. So I'm always kind of paranoid of sharks. I'm from the Jaws generation. Anyone who grew up and saw Jaws, it was like for the rest of their life, every time you walk into the sea, it's like, dun, 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 and you're looking around. Anyway, so next week's going to be interesting. Apart from that, not much technical this week because I'm traveling on Tuesday. Anything else of note off the top of my head? I can't think of anything. Again, before I go traveling, I'm always nervous because, especially crossing the border, they always look at me and they go, "What are you doing? Where are you going?" And so you tell them, and they look at you and they go, "Your tech field day? What's that?" And so. Yeah, I mean, and also it's not even that; it's the nuisance of airports. You go there 3 hours in advance, 2.5 hours in advance, and always before I fly, I don't know why, but in front of me, in the news, what I'm watching, there's always some horror stories. So the latest two horror stories I saw last week to scare me was one: people got on the plane, it was delayed, and they were 8 hours, and the airline didn't give them any water, and so they're all lying there and being pulled out on stretchers. Oh gosh, the bathrooms got stuck, so I couldn't go to the bathroom. And then the other thing that I saw was about this incredible turbulence this one flight went through. Like turbulence, they were all screaming, and so I don't even want to think about that. And there's no Wi-Fi on my flight. I checked that too. I thought, well, okay, I'll get the Wi-Fi, and I've never bought the Wi-Fi before, and I might not if I'd seen it been too expensive, but I can't now. There's no Wi-Fi on that flight, so I'll just have to figure something out. Anyways, hopefully it'll all be okay, and maybe I will do a show um, from San Jose or San Francisco, depending on yeah, maybe why not? Why not? We'll do a Cube ambassador from the West Coast. Okay, all right. We'll see you next week. And hopefully you don't have huge snowstorms or thunder snowstorms or whatever. And have a great week. Bye bye.